2024 is going to be a big year, I think. If everything goes as it's kind of expected to go, and we get ETF approval in January, that will be great for the market. We'll see, we'll see. I think we'll see big price action for Bitcoin, and I think that will eventually feed into ETH and altcoins. So, a spot ETF will definitely, I think, pump the market.
In this video, we'll delve into the latest interview with Guy, the influencer and mastermind behind Coin Bureau, the largest English-language crypto channel on YouTube with over 2.3 million subscribers. In a market where the winds of the crypto winter seem to have ceased blowing, there is a growing influx of positive news and rising expectations for the coming months. The outlook is becoming increasingly bullish as time ticks away. An ETF spot for Bitcoin could be approved as early as January 10, 2024, or even sooner. The upcoming Bitcoin halving will cut the issuance of new BTC in half, traditionally dumped into the market. Additionally, a decrease in interest rates is expected to commence sooner rather than later. All these factors could contribute to a truly significant bull market, not only for Bitcoin, but also for many other relevant cryptocurrencies in the market, such as Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, and more. As the famous saying goes, when the tide rises, all ships rise with it. The diminishing supply of Bitcoin, coupled with an increasing demand, is the primary reason Guy from Coin Bureau believes that a major rally for Bitcoin and the entire crypto space is on the horizon. But let's hear it from Guy himself as he presents his own arguments. So, sit back and get ready for this video packed with valuable information. But before we dive in, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as that is the only way this entirely free content can survive. Your support would be greatly appreciated to continue growing this channel and bring you more and better videos. Thank you very much. Now let's get started with the video.
Another thing to look out for, I think, is in March when SBF is sentenced. Now, obviously, he's been found guilty. That chapter is kind of closing. But I do think that could be a big moment that, we get that sort of final closure on SBF. He's sent off to prison for however long. And I hope that that moment sort of changes people's outlook on crypto, because this has been such a huge story. When you step out of the crypto bubble, everyone else, the only thing they're really aware of when it comes to crypto is FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. And I think hopefully putting that to bed, so to speak, will be a moment where people sort of focus, on more positive aspects of crypto. We should hopefully have an ETF by that point. And then, of course, the following month, April, is when the halving is scheduled to happen. And historically, this has been a narrative that mainstream media are kind of better able to understand with Bitcoin. The supply gets cut in half. So those supply and demand dynamics come into play. That is a fairly easy narrative to understand. It's a fairly easy narrative to report on. So I would hope, what with a potentially, most likely spot ETFs available for Bitcoin, Sam Bankman-Fried not troubling us for many decades to come, and the halving, I would think that should hopefully change the narrative around Bitcoin and crypto more widely. And I think that is when, we can start really sort of dreaming of a proper bull market coming around. I think now is the time to buy Bitcoin. I really do. I bought some myself recently. I topped up my stack a few days ago. Obviously, I wish I'd done it sooner. Maybe when it was chopping around sort of 25k and no one was really interested or paying attention. But then suddenly this ETF narrative came along and caught a lot of people, myself included, by surprise. But yeah, look, we've got big institutional players lining up, and the reason that they're lining up is because their clients want it. BlackRock is filing for a spot Bitcoin ETF because its clients have asked them for it, and ditto all these other asset managers as well. there is huge pent-up demand for Bitcoin. And when these ETFs launch, they may not be, out of the gates, they may not be kind of what everyone's expecting. I'm not sure if we would kind of shoot to new all-time highs straight away. But yeah, over time, more and more people are going to want exposure to Bitcoin. There is a lot of money sitting there that will eventually get allocated to Bitcoin. And I think, we will look back and go, do you remember when Bitcoin was below 40K? Wow. So I think now is perhaps as good a time as any. In order to keep your sanity and not sort of be constantly refreshing the Bitcoin charts, I would just DCA. I would just allocate a certain amount that you can afford to lose, of course, but a certain amount that you can afford, either maybe every week or every month, and you just go in at that particular point regardless. And that is a strategy that's been proven to work pretty well. And so if you're not sure, you just allocate regardless of what the price is doing. You build your stack slowly and steadily. And that, I think, is a good idea, especially for people who don't want to kind of dive head first into crypto and completely immerse themselves in that world, because that is a fairly big commitment. If some people just want exposure to Bitcoin, dollar cost averaging, DCAing slowly is as good a way as any.
In the upcoming bull market, we're witnessing a pivotal moment for Bitcoin. The potential approval of the spot ETF in the US signifies more than just regulatory recognition. It marks a shift in perception, pushing Bitcoin into the mainstream. This move sparks curiosity, prompting those once skeptical of Bitcoin to reconsider its legitimacy as a significant player in finance. As regulatory acceptance grows, there's a hunger for knowledge about Bitcoin, paving the way for increased adoption. Beyond price rallies, this bull market represents a paradigm shift, positioning Bitcoin as a recognized and respected player in the financial arena. The influx of institutions, led by BlackRock's lobbying for a traditional Bitcoin ETF, is a game changer. The impending Bitcoin spot ETF will reshape the entire crypto market, extending its impact to major cryptocurrencies like Ethereum. Guy Turner of Coin Bureau shares a bullish outlook for Ethereum, anticipating a positive spillover from the Bitcoin spot ETF. As Bitcoin gains mainstream acceptance, Ethereum and others stand to benefit from the overall positive sentiment, driving the collective market upward. The synergy between Bitcoin and Ethereum is expected to fuel market growth. With institutional involvement, regulatory advancements, and the Bitcoin spot ETF on the horizon, we're entering a transformative period for the entire crypto ecosystem. So let's hear what Guy has to say about ETH.
I've always been bullish on Ethereum. I think Ethereum is, it's a very different thing to Bitcoin. I think this is an important thing for people new to the space to understand. People talk about there being competition between Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's like they're very different things. Ethereum is this network upon which so much of, this layer one upon which so much of crypto is built. Whereas Bitcoin at the moment is kind of more that store of value narrative, even though we're seeing, exciting things like ordinals come along and change the game a little bit. But yeah, Ethereum underpins so much of the crypto ecosystem. And even if you're not a fan of Ethereum, even if you prefer some of the other layer one blockchains out there, or you're more of an interoperability person, you like those layer zero projects like Cosmos, for example. Even if you don't like Ethereum, you can't get away from the fact that a huge amount of the crypto ecosystem is built upon it. And yes, Ethereum still has a lot of work to do. Yes, gas fees are insanely high, really. It's much cheaper to do a lot of this stuff on other blockchains, sure. But the amount of development going on in the Ethereum ecosystem is just staggering. And so although I think a spot ETF is, is going to be great news. It's obviously going to help with ETH's price in the long term. I think what's more important is how much is happening on Ethereum. Now, recently we've seen network activity on Ethereum take a bit of a dip, and ETH actually went inflationary again. It now seems to be picking up again, but there is all this competition from those other layer ones. But I've been bullish on Ethereum's future for as long as I can remember, and that hasn't changed. It's still got a lot of challenges to do. But I mean, look, last year with the merge, this huge transition from proof of work to proof of stake, the Ethereum team pulled that off. It worked, this massive, massive change to the network. So I'm confident that they're going to be able to handle all the other changes, all the other developments, further evolution that needs to happen in Ethereum. So, yeah, I think an ETH ETF is interesting, but it doesn't change my outlook much for Ethereum. ETH tends to lag Bitcoin by one cycle. But certainly, as you say, the tokenomics have changed so much, and now the more Ethereum gets used, the more ETH gets burned, and therefore the less there is available. So in terms of price, I mean, where are we now? We're sort of hovering around the $2,000 mark. I think we could go to top of the next cycle. I think we could go I would be targeting around 5K sort of minimum. But I think it could get as high as maybe, I'm not sure 10K necessarily. I think it could get as high as maybe 8K at the top of this cycle. One thing I think is worth bearing in mind, though, is that even though we've got all this network activity happening on Ethereum, we've also got all these layer 2s building on Ethereum as well, which don't necessarily result in the burning of ETH. So that could be something to bear in mind. But again, it all feeds into just how massive Ethereum is. So yeah, I'm confident that there are bright days ahead for Ethereum, and yeah, whether we get to 10K, I'm not sure, but I think 5K would be fairly not too unrealistic.
Just like many other analysts, Guy from Coin Bureau believes that the crypto market is on the brink of being flooded with money from major institutions like BlackRock. This, he argues, will be highly beneficial not only for Bitcoin and Ethereum, but for many other cryptocurrencies as well. While analysts may have diverse price predictions for the upcoming months, one thing is crystal clear: we're entering a transformative stage for the crypto industry. Regardless of the price these assets may reach, it's undeniably a pivotal moment for this asset class. Now the question is, what are your price predictions for Bitcoin and Ethereum in the next bull market? I'd love to hear your opinions, so please share your predictions in the comment box below. Last but certainly not least, if you enjoyed this video, found it informative or interesting, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support enables me to keep bringing you more content like this. I would greatly appreciate it. We are Wealth Wizards, wishing you an excellent day. Goodbye.